I'm not going to the funeral. It's a waste of time.
My husband called me 5 minutes before my father's funeral started. My father had always wanted a son, and he loved my husband very much. And yet, as soon as he was gone, my husband was acting unfaithful. For a second, I thought about yelling at him and ask him why, like, why the hell could you treat me like this? How could you do this to my father? And such. But I didn't, and told him instead, all right, that's fine with me. My husband was very surprised when I said that. As for me, I couldn't help but grin when he reacted as exactly as I expected. My name is Audrey. I'm 30 years old. I have been helping my father's company since I was in college. My father started his own business when I was 20. I was interested in running a company, and more importantly, I wanted to help my father. My mother passed away when I was in elementary school, and since then, my father and I had lived together, hand in hand. My father also took my mother's place and supported me through everything. When it was time for me to decide on a college career, my father told me for the first time that he was thinking of starting his own business. I chose to apply to a university that offered a degree in business administration. I passed, and 2 years later, my father started his own business. My college life was fulfilling, but I was more than happy to work with my father. Dad, you're finally getting things off the ground.
It's all thanks to you, honey.
Oh, thanks. But I just did what you told me to do.
Yeah, you did. And you did it right away. That's the reason why we are doing so great now. Thank you, Audrey.
When I graduated from college, I got a job at my father's company to learn more from him. I was excited about the prospect of being a full-fledged employee. He made great use of his contacts from his old company, and I made great use of mine from college, and we started to grow the membership. And the company grew in size. Thanks to the employees who agreed with my father's philosophy, the company's management became stable. And the company became a publicly listed company within 8 years of its establishment. And the president's office is magnificent and luxurious. When I saw my father looking out the window, he said to me,
I'm so happy that I have come to this far.
Dad, what are you talking about? Of course you can do anything. You're great.
Haha. I was a rough kid before I met your mother, you know. I had a lot of problems back then. I got expelled from school. I was even taken care of by the police.
Oh, you were? That's surprising.
I guess it's because of your mom that I got to change. After I met your mother, many people helped me somehow, and then you were born.
I saw tears in my father's eyes. Oh, is that so? Thank you for telling me.
We chose your name together when you were in your mother's womb. We named you Audrey to make sure you would watch over me, because it means noble strength.
I like the name Audrey. Thank you for giving me such a great name.
Glad you like it. That means I'll have to protect the company with dignity and strength.
We both laughed at my father's words. Then one day, a sales employee came to talk to me. Lately, there's been a guy hanging around in front of the entrance. I wonder if he's looking for someone. He's been showing up for the last week. Maybe I should go out on a limb and talk to him. Basically, I am a curious type. So, I decided to take action. He showed up again. Look. The employee pointed out the window and told me. The person looked tall and handsome from a distance. I thought to myself in amusement that I might have found someone special. I quickly went downstairs and went outside. And sure enough, the man approached me. Miss, are you an employee here? Yes, I am.
Well, I was looking for you.
Huh? Me?
I made a pause in my voice. I saw you about a week ago in the park, down the street. And I fell in love with you at first sight.
I thought to myself, this person is a phony.
And continued.
You sure it's me? You must be joking, right?
I'm serious. I couldn't sleep at night. That's why I'm here.
It's sort of like stalking, you know?
I know, but I really like you. I thought if I came to this company, hoping to find you.
I see.
The man nodded in front of me.
Well, now that we've met, please don't come to the office anymore.
You mean I can't see you anymore? I'd like to talk to you. I really do.
The man's shoulders sank, and he looked as if I was accusing him of something, since I was at the entrance of the company. Why don't we meet after a day? I suggested to the man. He immediately looked up and smiled.
Really? Thank you very much. Thank you. By the way, can I have your name?
My name is Audrey Clark.
I'm Eli Tucker. Nice to meet you.
Mr. Tucker, right? Tomorrow, at noon, we'll talk at that cafe. It's my lunch break. Is that all right with you, Mr. Tucker?
I'll be happy to. I'll look forward to it tomorrow. Thank you very much for today.
With that, the man quickly turned his back on me and left. I felt a little uncomfortable with that move, but I thought it was because of embarrassment. I had no way of knowing at this time that this encounter with Eli would be a turning point of my life. The next day, I went into the cafe I had promised.
Thank you very much for your time today. I'm really happy to be able to talk to you like this.
I'm on my lunch break right now.
Oh, I'm just on my lunch break too.
So, is your office near here?
Yes, it is. It's a small family-owned business.
What a coincidence. My company was started by my father and me.
It doesn't look that way. It's a big company, isn't it?
You are also working hard for your family, aren't you, Mr. Tucker? I felt like cheering him on, as if he seemed to have the same experience as mine. And the time passed quickly. We hit it off and agreed to meet again next time. After meeting several times at this cafe during lunch break, we started meeting on weekends as well. One day on a holiday, we had lunch together. There, a naughty boy was insanely accosting the waitress. Then, Eli intervened and calmed the situation down. I was unintentionally moved by that incident.
I can't help but laugh, as if I were looking at my old self.
What? You were naughty too, Eli?
You know, one day my father suddenly collapsed. Although he's fine now. I came to my senses when I saw my mother break down in tears.
You went through a lot, didn't you?
I wonder I learned to appreciate my father and mother at that time.
Eli was staring at the window, and I could see a hint of feeling in his profile. He looks like my father. If he proposed to me, I would say yes. A week later, Eli proposed to me. I said yes right then and there, and we greeted each other's families on a holiday that week. My father loved Eli like a son, and they often went out for drinks together. After marriage, my husband joined my family and took our surname. He started working as an employee.
You two have to enjoy your personal life, at least at home.
My father was very considerate, so we decided to make a new life together in an apartment close to his house. When we went to visit my father's house, Eli and my father had a lively conversation about their youthful mischievousness over a drink. It was a pleasure for me to see them happy.
Audrey, I'm happy for you.
I'm happy to hear you say that, Dad.
Me too. I'm very happy.
Just as I had believed that these days would continue, my father collapsed. After running some tests, the doctor gave him only 6 months to live. Since then, he's been in and out of the hospital. At work, I've been struggling to fill the void left by my father's absence. And of course, my husband worked together with me. My father was looking forward to this day with great anticipation, as it coincided with preparations for the company's 10th anniversary celebration. The night before, he called me home alone.
Tomorrow is the day.
Dad, it's been a long time. 10 years.
Thank you. I'm leaving you and Eli to take care of the rest.
What are you talking about, Dad? You're coming back to work.
Honey, look, I'm not going to be around much longer. If something happens to me, I want Eli to take over the company as the president.
I smiled and replied, Yes, sure. On the day of the 10th anniversary ceremony, my father's conversation with Eli brought tears to my eyes.
Eli, I know it must have been hard for you to prepare. Thank you for helping Audrey. I heard that the employees are saying how much they admire you. Audrey also told me about you. No, I didn't do much. It was Audrey's help that got everyone moving. Don't be so modest. You're my son. I don't deserve it. I am just grateful to be a part of this company that you and Audrey have built up so far. I look forward to working with you, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the ceremony. With these words, I, the MC, proceed with the ceremony, wiping away tears. After the ceremony was over without incident, we decided to relax at my father's house that night. It's done without incident, didn't it? Yeah. I'm tired, but it was a good day, my father said as he closed his eyes. Well, I'll go make some tea. I went to the kitchen, and just as I was reaching for it, all of a sudden, I heard my husband's voice. Dad! Dad! I turned around to see my father lying on a sofa. Eli was shaking his body and yelling, but my father is not responding. Dad! Hey! Dad! I was shaking his shoulders and screaming too, but he never opened his eyes, and I couldn't tell if he was breathing or not. I immediately called his doctor and asked him to come home, but he had already passed away. I kept staring at his face, unable to immediately accept what was happening. Then I remembered my father's words, and I came back to myself. He had said, When I die, it will be in this house. I looked up and realized that my father's wish had come true. The funeral preparations proceeded in a flurry of activity. When I arrived at the location, my husband, who was supposed to be sitting next to me, was not there. I rushed to call him, but he didn't answer the phone. I couldn't believe my ears when my husband called me 5 minutes before the funeral. I can't make it to the funeral. I have to take care of some urgent business. Hey! What do you mean? He didn't even listen to a word I said, and the phone went dead. I went blank at his words. When I returned home after the funeral, the lights were already on. I couldn't help but wonder if he was here. And as I approached our home, then I heard a startling conversation. The boss passed away last night. Can you really handle it properly, son? I can't stand it when you and my brother keep making fun of me. I'll do it my way, okay? Don't worry. Well then, I'll be counting on you. It was Eli and my father-in-law.
and father-in-law left the house right after that. Eli didn't see him leave. He seemed to slump his shoulders and nod his head. Then I pretended to be not aware of their conversation, went into the house. Why didn't you come to the funeral?
I told you it was urgent.
It was my father's funeral. He loved you so much. You know that.
Oh, I know. He's being so good to me. I'm sorry.
There is a gathering tomorrow at the company. Can you at least come to that? Can you?
I can't. Sorry.
What are you saying, Eli?
I said I can't. I told you it's urgent. So it's a waste of time.
Fine then. You don't have to come at all. I remembered the conversation between my husband and my father-in-law, and I couldn't help but say so. He seemed confused by my words. I don't care if he was confused or not. After my father passed away, I was running the business as acting president. Gradually, the company's profile began to decline, and the clientele began to change. And then, as if he had changed, Eli began to act and behave in his own way. I began to hear complaints from employees on a daily basis. Our life as a couple began to diverge more and more as well. I was even confused as to which one was the real person anymore. Anyway, as acting president, I was focusing my efforts on refining the company's management. In the midst of all this, I received a report from a sales employee that there seemed to be a leak of information about the company. Our customers were going to Tucker Corporation. That's my husband's family's company. What's going on? I thought about the conversation between my husband and his father. The suspicion toward my husband aroused. That night, my suspicions became true. When I came home, my husband had come home before me, which was unusual, and there was a visitor. The visitor was my father-in-law. They were talking on the balcony and didn't seem to notice that I had come home.
Good job, son. Our company's going through the roof now. I'll be useful too, you know. I didn't know you would sneak into the company and get information from me.
Now you and my brother will see me for the man I really am. After all, it was my husband who betrayed me. What are you guys talking about? They were so flustered by my sudden appearance that my father-in-law left quickly. The remaining husband immediately got down on his knees in front of me and started crying and telling me everything that had happened. I wanted to make my father and brother look up to me. They were always making fun of me for my bad behavior and bad grades, you know? That's why I had to leak the information. Is that why you met me? In the beginning, yes. But I really enjoyed being with you, and I wanted to be a part of your family. Then why did you do that? I'm sorry. My dad's orders were getting worse now that your father is gone, and I didn't want to make a fool of again. I was just stunned to see him keep apologizing like that. My father thought that you were the next president of the company, you know. He adored you and recognized your hard work. He even said he would retire and leave the company to you and me. And you're the president. What? Oh no. I'm such an idiot. I know. I was going to tell you when the time was right. But you've changed since my father died, and I haven't been able to tell you. I'm sorry. I really want to make it up to you. It's all up to you, you know. Okay. I'm going to the police and I'll tell them everything. His face was as dignified as before. when he went to the police and told them the whole story. The police came to Tucker's corporation and his brother's company, and they charged them with a crime. Of course, both of his father's and his brother's company went bankrupt. Soon after that, I officially divorced Eli. Although I felt my ex-husband was sincere when he turned himself into the police, I could not forgive him for betraying us the way he did. And now, I am the president of the company my father left me. Every day is tough, but I am truly grateful to all those around me who worked so hard to keep this company going. I promised myself to never forget that this company is my father's legacy, and I hope that he will be proud of me in heaven as I strive to achieve even